Shalom, all praises to Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect. My name is Jacobo from Plaintables Camp. This is based off of Isaiah 14:17. That made the world a wilderness and destroyed the cities thereof, that opened not the house of the prisoners. All right. You know, people get out of prison all the time in America, and people go to prison all the time. All right. So it's not saying that people that go to prison don't get out. It's saying that America has a culture of locking people up, you know, whether it be for domestic, child support, or self-defense. See, the Esau, Edom, he's the devil. So he believes that he has the power to kill. It's like in the Roman Empire, you couldn't put someone to death. You had to go to the Romans to get someone put to death. All right. That's why when he got arrested, Yahweh Shai got arrested. They really, the Israelites were supposed to exact judgment on their prisoners. Now, but they were being ruled by the Romans, which were being ruled by mainly the Edomites. All right. So the power to kill was invested in the local authority, which was Pontius Pilate, which was he's a Roman Edomite. All right. So the American government, they frown upon, especially depending on what state you're in, you using deadly force to defend yourself. Now, in this case, this is USCCA, I think some kind of firearm membership program advocacy group. All right, and you're going to see in this video where he used self-defense after he was threatened, and he got charged with murder. All right, you can clearly see that he was attacked. So the government wants to regulate who dies. All right? Even if he hadn't died, he would have still got charged with like attempted murder or something. But I believe the guy, he died. The guy he shot died. Let's listen up. All right, let me read the scripture one more time. All right, so this means, it doesn't mean that people don't get released from prison in Babylon. It means that America has a culture of prisons, of locking you up. All right, let's look up here. And some don't get released. You know, they got to serve their time. So let the video play, and I'll skip through the video. It's only a few parts I want you to see.
He told me if I didn't get the money out of my pocket right then, that the guy that was standing over there.
Yeah, I've been in a situation like this before. The guy ended up acting like he was joking and playing around, but he pulled a weapon on me at a corner store. This is when I was like 14, 15 years old, you know, and put me against a wall and told me to empty my pockets. I didn't give him nothing because I didn't know, because I knew the guy, or he's my brother, my younger brother's friend or associate, and I was, I guess, resisting. And I resisted long enough, and he said, I'm just playing. Little piece of shit. And I said it didn't even load it. Then he showed me the magazine, the bottom of it. But that doesn't mean there was any bullets in the magazine. He showed me the bottom of the magazine. So now, if I had reacted with deadly force, they would try to say that I committed murder. All right, so let's look at this. Because Esau's not just. This man's a devil. You have the right to defend. It doesn't matter what the laws are. You have if someone threatens your life and attacks you, you should be able to respond. It's your God-given right to respond in any way you believe is necessary to save your life. But they got different laws in different states, and castle law, and some states it's okay, and in other states they got to scrutinize. In other states, it's murder, because the police only have power to murder. Only the devil would make a law and put civilian police, which they're still civilians, they're not military, above. Because as soon as you put a uniform on, you're above, or as soon as you have that police license, you're above a normal citizen. Because if you're a government agent, you have more rights than a normal citizen. Police are citizens. They just have more rights than you. I mean, they're civilians. Just like you, but once they get that certification, become a cop, they get more rights than you. They have more privileges.
Right then, that the guy that was standing over there to ambush me was going to shoot me. And once I took my eyes off of him, he hit me. I ran around the car because he started yelling, shoot, 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 don't let him leave, shoot. And that's why I started shooting.
Ja'Cory Burns of Louisville is charged in the murder of 22-year-old Lonnie Oxendine.
Burns shot Oxendine out.
Yeah, this is very common. Somebody will follow you around, start talking to you like, yeah, I should rob this guy. He look like an easy target. So I got to think about what the government's going to do to me if I defend myself with deadly force. What a demonic system you live in. So somebody gets hurt and some, you know, they trying to say, oh, the dude, they didn't see a weapon or he didn't have a weapon. So you brought you escalated it beyond the, what the person had. I don't know if the guy was armed. All right. I guess they're saying that he didn't have a weapon on him. So the victim had a gun and the guy that was being robbed had a gun, but the guy that was threatening to rob didn't have a gun. So they're saying, oh, you escalated it beyond the point of what they can see. If the dude attacks me, it doesn't matter what I have. But according to the government, you gotta respond with the same exact force. Like if somebody's stealing your car and you shoot them, you get charged with murder or attempted murder, unless they're trying to ram you with the car. This is not a just system we live in. This is a demonic, wicked system that we live in. This is why this Babylon America has to be erased off the face of the earth to set things back in order, because then there will be no violence. Once America is done away with, there will be no more violence. All right? And Esau, Edom, you got a nerve to say that you can't respond to defend yourself with violence, and you're the most violent creature that has ever existed. All right, because you had the capability to do so, and you get your power from Satan. All right, let's do a video play.
Outside City Center in downtown Lexington
on charges of murder and assault.
They put me on the ground, handcuffed me, and took me to the police station for interrogation. Everything was taken from me within like seconds.
Well, a trial has started for the man accused of shooting and killing an aspiring rapper in Lexington
his
last
testimony
year.
yesterday, Burns claims it was in self-defense.
The prosecution argued Burns brought a gun to a fist fight.
Whenever there's a body in a homicide, unless you're wearing a uniform, there's going to be a charge.
Right, because the police, the government is above you. You're a normal citizen, but the police are above you. We don't have equal rights. That statement right there, which I already knew, I've been saying that to myself for years, or at least the past year, that the police and the citizens, regular citizens, because the police are citizens, regular citizens have less rights than police officers and law enforcement. All right, that this proves that we don't have equality in America. So the Constitution is a goddamn lie. That's only for the rich and powerful in the government. They have more so equal rights. Really, it's just really the government, law enforcement, government agents. They have more rights than regular citizens like us. So they want you to respond with the equal amount of force, and you don't know what the other person has. When they threaten your life, you gotta escalate as they escalate. That's stupid. And then you won't get charged with something. That's stupid.
Unless you're wearing a uniform, there's going to be a charge.
Today I'm sitting down with Ja'Cory Burns, a fellow USCCA member. He went through an intense self-defense incident and story, and we'll get right into it. Began with a dispute over money. Tell me about how this all sort of played out, the backstory a little bit before it all got started.
It started, I had through an event the night before, and the event went sour. When the event went sour, I had a lot of people approach me. As the people approached me, Everybody wanted their money back. I wasn't able to give everybody their money back, and I went home. After that, once I went home, I had to go and give one of the guys their plane ticket back home that was supposed to be performing. When I got to the hotel to give him his plane ticket to get back home, that's when this incident took place.
Yeah. So, and we're not talking about a huge amount of money. This guy that you were dealing with that ended up attacking you, he was wanting what, $900 or something like that?
$900.
Yeah, $900. And that's all it took to set him off. So,
Yes, sir.
Well, that's a lot of money. All right, it's almost a stack. So whether he was justified in getting his money back, that's a legal matter. But assault is assault. The man was assaulted. All right. It says what is a mistake to leave the scene? So he left the scene. Okay, so he looked bad. All right. So that's that on that. All right. He probably left the scene according to what the chapters are saying. It said, was it a mistake to leave the scene of a deadly incident? All right. Now, whether he left the scene or not, if like the Edomite said, if a body's involved, they're going to charge you with murder. It says, so Ecclesiasticus 12 and 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. So when you're dealing with law enforcement, you're dealing with a serpent. They're not your friend. They're not trying to make you get you out of here real quick. You be polite, cordial, and you decide, whether it's a lawful stop or not. I mean, I can't really tell you that, but have your video cameras recording no matter what, right? And comply if they you think they're scared. I'll even offer you want me to get out of the car because they have the right to pull you out the car on a traffic stop. So don't resist in that manner. Just like, well, because some of these cops are scared. I got pulled over and got a ticket recently. The cop's hand was shaking. It was a Pennsylvania state trooper. His hands were fucking shaking. I'm like, this motherfucker's scared to death. If I reach somewhere, this dude would just fucking flip the fuck out. All right. Have your camera, your dash camera, and your phone camera. Make sure it's well lit, especially if it's at night, and especially if you don't know the area. But don't trust him. Don't think that he's talking to you in a way in which he's going to let you go home. You can invoke your right to remain silent. That's really the best thing you can do. And if you're fucking driving drunk, don't take this field sobriety test like a fucking idiot, okay? They using everything that you say and do will be used against you in a court of law. Grow the hell up, all right? If you're doing something you're supposed to be doing, don't admit any guilt, all right? I don't take tests from strangers anyway, no matter if I'm innocent or not. I don't take tests from strangers. That's just me. If a person come up to me demanding blood and samples of DNA and shit, I don't comply with that. You just take me to jail. All right? Though he humbled himself, and that's what they do. They humble themselves. Like, oh, yeah, we're coming and going. I'm invoking my right to remain silent. That's just me. I think that's the right thing to do. And go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him. Now, it depends on the situation. I'm going to be flexible depending on what I believe his intent is. But I always believe his intent ultimately is to to extract money out of you, to extort you. All right? But if I turned on red when I was supposed to make a full stop and I didn't make a full stop, that's different from where I'm totally clueless on why the fuck he just pulled me over. I think it's some type of profiling situation going on. I might have out-of-state tags. And he's profiling me to extract money out of me because if I take the ticket, then I'm not going to come back to fight it. I'm just going to pay it. So whether I'm going to remain silent or not is going to be based on the circumstances. But I'm always going, within the front of my mind, I'm going to say less. All right? And it's an active situation. All right? Saying less. All right? Being respectful, but saying less. All right? and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. So these are not your friend. Don't ever believe or trust law enforcement, ever, under any circumstance. Even if you call them to document things after you already did something, you had to take care of something, and you got to call to document it, all right? Don't trust those motherfuckers, because they're serpents. The negative connotation. All right, now I got one more video. All right, now notice in both videos, these jakes both got long hair. All right, so again, they don't have the protection of Yahweh Shemel Shah. Now again, we get end up in these same situations. And some of us have been in these situations. All right, let's look at this. Yeah, he has long hair too, which you're not supposed to have long hair. But they're not in the truth anyway. I'm just using these brothers, these jakes as examples. All right. On how the system works. All right. Remember, you have to prove your innocence more than they have to prove that you're the guy. You know, this is not a just system. No sanctuary.
A Minneapolis man is suing Bloomington police and Hennepin County for their roles in a case of mistaken identity that landed him in jail for a crime he did not commit.
Now, our Mary McGuire covered this incident back in November of 21 and has the latest details for us tonight.
I feel like I had to prove my innocence more than they had to prove I was a suspect.
Kylese Perryman says the only crime he's guilty of is being a black man in America. Along with the ACLU of Minnesota, he's suing Bloomington Police and Hennepin County for their roles in a case of mistaken identity that landed him in jail for a crime he didn't commit.
Kylese Perryman was not one of the carjackers or robbers. He was nowhere nearby.
Fox 9 first told you about Perryman's case back in 2021. In September of that year, he was arrested and charged with aggravated robbery after a group of girls were attacked and had their purses stolen outside Mall of America. According to the original criminal complaint, an analyst with the Hennepin County Sheriff's Office Criminal Information and Analysis Unit was able to ID Perryman off of Walmart surveillance footage of the suspects using a stolen credit card. But there were some big problems with that narrative. Perryman was clocked in at work when the car the two suspects were driving.
Walmart, I believe the apostle went into the Walmart thing that I just moved near Walmart, but I haven't been in Walmart in a few years. But now I live near Walmart, so I'm going into Walmart now every, maybe once a week or something like that. But if something don't scan right, they can accuse you of theft. The apostle did a video on that. That's really anywhere, but you can be accused of stealing something because of that camera. It's one above you, and it's one, I believe, looking directly at you. All right. Then they have other cameras surrounding the self-checkout. All right. There's videos on YouTube about the self-checkout. A woman had sued the police department or the city. I believe in the store. One of those three. Because of her arrest when she didn't steal anything. All right. So be very careful with the self-checkout, because you can get accused of theft. And then you got these black women and white women, so-called black women, so-called white women, that are acting as, enforcers, standing over, watching you scan stuff. And they do have a high, people do steal a lot of shit. But if you need to be sure if someone's stealing something, 100%, before you accuse them of that. Yeah, but this American experiment is almost over. We may have a few years left, hopefully.
Perryman was clocked in at work when the car the two suspects were driving was stolen. And as the Mall of America crimes were taking place, Verizon data proves his cell phone was miles away at home. And shortly after that, a time-stamped photo also shows him at a family birthday party miles away in Andover.
I feel like they looked at me and this other guy, and they thought we're both African Americans, so let's just say it's him, instead of trying to do everything they needed to find out it wasn't me.
There you go. There you go. And they just sue the ass. I mean, so again, don't even resist arrest. Don't be yelling a bunch of shit. But you gotta go walk through the valley of the shadow of death Though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me, thy rod, thy staff that comfort me. A valley of shadow of death is America. Because you can get accused of anything. I can go outside and start driving, picking up customers, and I could get pulled over and say I fit the description of something, or my car looks like something someone just robbed a convenience store or something like that, and then I'm getting held up for an hour, and then getting examined, pulled out the car, searching the car. We have reasonable suspicion or reasonable probable cause to start questioning me. And I'm gonna look. This is I just came from here, and anything that's that I believe has nothing to do with what they're saying, I was invoke my right to remain silent. Cause I have to make a judgment call, because you can talk and get yourself in a lot of trouble. And as so-called, black people, Israelites, we don't really know how to talk that well when it comes to law enforcement. So one of the best things you can do is attempt to dispel their belief that you're the suspect, but say less. All right. It gets to a point where you have to invoke your right to remain silent, meaning verbally articulate that. Invoke your right to remain silent. All right. Don't believe that if the more you talk, the more he's going to believe you. That is a childish, foolish way to look at dealing with the devil. All right. On the surface, you try to disprove or dispel his belief that you are a suspect, but it gets to a certain point where you have to invoke your right to remain silent. All right, because you have to discern whether he's determined to take you to jail, or is he being genuine on his concern that you are a suspect. You have to decide that in the moment. All right, I'm invoking my right to remain silent within 1 minute. If the questioning starts to sound weird or odd, I'm like, oh, this don't sound right. I'm going to have to invoke my right to remain silent. I'm going to identify myself. I was coming here, I don't know, just going for a drive. And if it gets super specific after I already answered certain questions, then I'm going to invoke my right to remain silent. And you got to make that call, in the situation. Just don't, make a blanket answers, or you're always going to speak, or you're always going to remain silent. No, it's an active situation based upon the circumstances. You make your decisions. That's the best way, in my opinion, to handle law enforcement. All right. And have that camera rolling and your hands out of your pockets. All right.
They needed to find out it wasn't me.
The surveillance images from
It's him. If they looked at me and this other guy and they thought we're both African Americans, so let's just say it's him, instead of trying to do everything they needed to find out it wasn't me.
The surveillance images from Walmart also show a man with no tattoos on his right forearm, but Perryman has 2. The charges were eventually dropped and expunged from his record. According to Perryman's attorney, other suspects were arrested for the crime.
Did the devil think that's okay? No, you got to pay for that. You don't get to do an investigation while you hem the man up. You cost him money, his reputation, his character is on the line because you're conducting an investigation. Expunged from his record. No, I'm suing your ass. I'm going to get an attorney. All right. He's using the ACLU. They're a group of attorneys. Like, they want to get justice for you, apparently. ACLU. All right. That's one of the attorney groups you can file a lawsuit with. Or they can file a lawsuit on your behalf or find another attorney. But document it the best way you can. Keep your hands out your pockets, obviously, because you a nigga. All right. Or even Esau. Esau, you got to keep your hands out your pockets, too. All right. Because these cops are fucking insane. Because they deal with a lot of crazy shit, so they look at everybody as a piece of shit also. They put everybody under a blanket. Character. All right.
Were arrested for the crime.
The idea that law enforcement can arrest someone, detain them for days in jail, and prosecute them simply because police think they look like the...
That's why what the scriptures say. I started off with, just because they let you out, it don't mean this scripture still applies. Okay? That opened not the house of the prisoner, meaning they lock your ass up, they hem you up, and they try to extract money from you. All right? And then they let you go and like, okay, everything's done. Well, we can conduct an investigation. You're not the guy. No, you got to pay for that. You got to pay for that. Okay. And this is legal. They can hem you up with like circumstantial evidence, and then they have evidence that's the contrary to the evidence that they already have, and you still lock the fuck up. This is not a just system. When he digitally edited the fucking tattoos on his fucking arm, he can just put them on and put tattoos on and off his arm at will.
One, detain them for days in jail and prosecute them simply because police think they look like the suspect with no other investigation is absolutely appalling.
It's still unclear exactly how facial recognition technology was used in this case. In 2021, Hennepin County said an analyst was reviewing booking photographs for an unrelated case and thought Perryman looked like the man in the Walmart surveillance photos.
If somebody actually did look at those two pictures and say it was the same guy, that's a whole other level of concern.
Both Bloomington PD and Hennepin County declined to comment on the lawsuit. Mary McGuire, Fox 9.
Yeah, I know. See, the thing is, when I think it was in Britain, I think, that the software was racist toward people of color. The facial recognition was biased. You type that in there. All right. So, lesson here is, first of all, don't walk around looking like, these 2/3 Jakes out here. Don't commit crimes, and be prepared for your ass to go to prison. All right, because you are one of the hopeful elect, and fortunately, that's the price we got to pay to receive the kingdom. That's fortunate, because what we got to go through here is very small compared to the reward that we're going to receive. All right. So, be wise. As a serpent and harmless as a dove, as Yahweh commanded us. We encounter these devils out in the world. And never believe that the police are out there for your welfare. All right. So, hope you edified. Shalom.